So picture this. You get a fantastic job offer. The salary, it's pretty good, but you just know you could get more. And right on cue, your heart starts pounding. What if they say no? Even worse, what if they pull the offer completely? That fear, right there, it can be absolutely paralyzing. And honestly, it's the exact moment where most of us just give up before we even start. And really, it all boils down to this single terrifying question, doesn't it? The whole anxiety around negotiation is so often tangled up with our own sense of self-worth. I mean, how do you even begin to put a number on your skills, your experience, all of your potential? It's such a tough question. And that fear of getting it wrong, it just stops us dead in our tracks. And here's the crazy part. We end up saying no to ourselves before anyone else even gets the chance. We take the lower offer, we accept the terms we don't love, all because we're just terrified of that potential conflict, of the rejection, of hearing that one tiny word, no. But you know what? Today, we are going to take that fear apart, piece by piece. Okay, this is our starting point. We're going to unpack the brilliant ideas from Melissa Davis's book, The Practical Negotiation Handbook. She gives us this incredible framework that helps any professional take back control, whether you're talking about a new salary, a big project, or heck, even just figuring out weekend plans. Now, this right here is the book's core idea, and it's a total game changer. It's a huge mindset shift. Negotiation is not about winning or losing. The person across the table isn't your enemy. They're your future partner. And the second you start thinking that way, from a place of collaboration, the entire dynamic just changes. So how do we actually do that? How do we make that shift? Well, Davis lays out this super practical 5-step map. This isn't some complicated high-level theory. It's a clear, straightforward process that turns what feels like a stressful mess into something structured and totally manageable. And here they are, the 5 steps: preparation, rapport, information, proposal, and closing. This framework is going to be our guide. Honestly, it's the secret to building real confidence in any negotiation you walk into. All right, let's jump into step 1. Now, preparation is so much more than just a quick Google search on salaries. It's about getting mentally ready. It's about understanding your own fears, really knowing your strengths, and, this is crucial, researching what the other side actually needs and cares about. It's all the homework you do before you even sit down at the table. This little story just illustrates the point perfectly. Take Priya, a project manager who needed new software but was on a really tight budget. Her prep work revealed something interesting. The vendor was desperate for long-term clients. So what did she do? Instead of just haggling over the price, she framed the whole deal as the beginning of a valuable long-term partnership. That one single insight changed everything. Moving on to step 2, rapport. Once you're prepared, it's all about making a genuine human connection. A firm handshake, a real smile, actually using their name. These little things, they build trust. You know, they say over 90% of negotiation is nonverbal. Your goal here is simple. Lower the tension and create a space where you can actually work together. Here's a great example. There was a real estate agent dealing with a pretty skeptical client. So before he even mentioned the property, he just spent 15 minutes having tea with them, asking about their business. He didn't talk about the sale at all. He built the relationship first. Well, that client not only bought the property, but they ended up bringing him a ton of future business. That right there is the magic of rapport. Which brings us right to step 3, information exchange. And this is where so many of us mess up. We get so caught up thinking about what we're going to say next that we completely forget to listen. But here's the secret. If you practice active listening, the other person will often tell you exactly what you need to hear to close the deal. Think about Arun, a startup founder who was totally stuck on price with a client. Instead of arguing his point, he just listened. He asked, "Can you help me understand why this price point is so important for you right now?" And the client revealed that their annual budget was completely spent. Bingo! That was the key. Arun proposed a creative solution. Pay half now and the other half in the next fiscal year. Deal done. Listening found a solution that arguing never, ever would have. And now we're at step 4, the proposal. This is it. This is the moment most of us dread, right? Putting your cards on the table. But if you have the right strategy, you can walk into this with total confidence. And there are 2 really critical tactics for this stage. So the first tactic is called anchoring. Here's how it works. By making the first offer and making it strategically a little bit higher than what you actually want, you set a psychological anchor for the entire conversation. From that moment on, every single number that gets discussed is going to be compared to your initial anchor. It gives you a huge advantage. The second tactic is all about using conditional offers. The rule is incredibly simple. Never ever give something away without getting something in return. Sure, I can beat that price if you're able to extend the contract. See? This makes sure that every single concession has value and that you're both moving towards an agreement, not just you giving stuff away. And finally, we've made it to the fifth and final step, closing. You know, a lot of people breathe a sigh of relief when the bargaining is over, but this is actually where a really good deal can start to fall apart. The key here is simple. Summarize every single point you agreed on and get it in writing. Even a quick follow-up email can prevent a world of misunderstanding down the road and really solidifies your agreement. Okay, so we have the framework. Now let's put it to work. We're going to start with the one negotiation that keeps most of us up at night, our salary. With this plan, you can walk in and confidently ask for what you're really worth. So here's how you apply those 5 steps. You prepare by researching what the market rates are and listing out your accomplishments with hard numbers. You build rapport. You use anchoring to state your desired salary, and if they can't meet it, you use a conditional offer. Something like, okay, if 14 lakhs is the final number, could we maybe add an extra work from home day each week? And then you always close by getting that final offer in writing. Now, what makes this framework so powerful is just how versatile it is. I mean, this isn't just for the boardroom, it works in our personal lives too. Think about it. When you're trying to decide where to live or planning a vacation with your partner, the goal isn't to win the argument. The goal is to find a solution that makes everybody happy. In relationships, the steps just adapt a little. The goal becomes understanding. Rapport is already built on love and respect. You listen, you really listen, to uncover the deep needs behind what your partner is asking for. And the proposal, it becomes a compromise. Just look at Ankit and Priya. They were at a total stalemate about where to live. But by listening, they discovered Ankit's real need was to be close to his aging parents, while Priya's was better career opportunities. The solution? They found a city that was a great career hub for her and only a 3-hour drive from his parents. A true win-win. You know, the biggest battle in any negotiation isn't with the person across from you. It's the one that happens inside our own minds. It's the fear and the self-doubt. Overcoming that is the real key. And the only way to do that is to turn all this knowledge into an actual habit. And the book suggests a really simple but powerful way to start: the negotiation diary. For just 1 week, get a notebook and write down every single negotiation you have, no matter how big or small. For each one, make a note of how you could have applied these 5 steps. This simple practice builds your awareness and starts turning theory into a real-world skill. This framework doesn't just teach you how to negotiate better, it teaches you to truly believe in your own value. We've walked through the steps, we've seen how they work in the real world, and now you have a plan to get started. The knowledge is all yours. So really, there's only one question left. What are you going to ask for first?